Introduction: The Cosmic Green Light. Why this message reaches you today and what it means that the preparation time is over. Stop. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes for a second if you can, or stare fixedly at this message. What is happening at this precise moment, the fact that your finger clicked this video or that the algorithm brought you to my voice, is not a digital coincidence. It is not a computer accident. It is a divine appointment. There is an invisible clock that rules the universe. It does not mark hours or minutes like your wristwatch. It marks the soul's maturation cycles. For a long time, perhaps years, you have lived looking at that invisible clock with desperation. You felt like you were trapped in an endless cosmic waiting room. You worked hard, you visualized, you were a good person. And yet it seemed like life was on pause. It felt like the universe had you on read. You shouted your desires to the sky and only received silence. Doors slammed in your face, projects stalled, and relationships didn't take root. You came to think there was something wrong with you. You came to believe that the universe had forgotten your name or that your destiny was perpetual struggle. But today, I have come to tell you the truth that your soul already suspects. You were not being punished. You were being trained. The universe does not deliver empires to kings who do not know how to rule. The universe does not deliver millions to minds that still vibrate in scarcity, because it would destroy them. The universe does not deliver great love to hearts that do not yet know how to love themselves. All that time of silence and frustration was your endurance training. It was the fire necessary to forge the steel of your character. It was the demolition needed to build foundations capable of supporting the skyscraper that is about to rise. But I have news that will make every cell in your body vibrate. The training is over. The preparation phase has concluded. You have passed the tests. You have survived the dark nights of the soul. You maintained faith when everything told you to give up. And because you have resisted, the universe has issued the final decree today. The cosmic green light has been turned on. Do you know what this means? It means that the energy you used to fight against the current, you will now use to sail at full speed toward your dreams. It means that the time for asking has ended and the time for receiving has begun. The universe knows you are ready, not because you are perfect, but because you have expanded. You are no longer the frightened apprentice you were 5 years ago. You are the initiate who knows their worth. If this message reached you today, it is official confirmation. The traffic light has changed. The barrier has been lifted. From this moment on, you will stop pushing doors. The doors will open on their own as you pass. You will stop chasing. You will start attracting. But to navigate this new stage of acceleration and miracles, you must know how to read the signs. The universe is speaking to you right now, showing you that your life is about to change forever. Are you feeling strange things lately, impossible coincidences, changes in your body? Do not be afraid. They are the 10 signs that the universe is handing you the keys to the kingdom. Listen carefully. Your new life begins now. Chapter 1: The Fertile Void. The strange sudden loneliness and why the universe isolates you before rewarding you. If there is a signal that terrifies the human ego, if there is a symptom of awakening that most people misinterpret as a punishment, a depression, or an absolute failure, it is this one. It is likely that, just before reaching this video, you have been feeling a strange, uncomfortable, and deep sensation. The feeling that your life has stopped. You look around and suddenly the stage seems empty. Perhaps you had an active social circle, full of noise, parties, and conversations, and suddenly the phone has stopped ringing. No one calls you. And what is even stranger, you don't feel like calling anyone either. Perhaps you had a romantic relationship that, although it wasn't perfect, filled your time and space, and suddenly it ended, or the dynamic changed so much that now you feel like you're sleeping with a stranger. Perhaps in your work, where there was drama, urgency, and chaos before, there is now a stagnant silence. Projects don't move forward, but they don't sink either. Simply, nothing moves. You feel like a sailboat in the middle of the ocean on a day without wind. The sails hang limp. The horizon is an infinite straight line. You don't move forward. You don't retreat. You just float in an existential nothingness. Your logical mind, trained in the culture of productivity and hyperconnectivity, panics at this scenario. It begins to scream at you, Something is wrong. You are being left alone. You are stalling. You are wasting time. Do something. Move. Shout. Search. You come to think the universe has abandoned you. You come to think you've lost your touch, your magic, or your luck. You wonder if you are falling into a depression, or if you have made a bad decision that has led you into this dead end. But today, I am here to tell you to turn off that voice of fear. I am here to redefine what you are living. You are not stuck. You are not depressed. And definitely you have not been abandoned. You are experiencing signal number 1, that a gigantic manifestation is about to collapse into your physical reality. You are inside the fertile void. To understand why this is good news, in fact the best possible news, we must resort to a fundamental law of physics and metaphysics, the law of empty space. The universe has an absolute horror of a vacuum. In Latin it was said horror vacui. Nature abhors empty space and always, without exception, rushes to fill it. If you dig a hole in the sand at the beach, the seawater immediately rushes in to fill it. If you remove the air from a bottle, creating a vacuum, and then open the cap, the outside air will enter with a violent and explosive force to occupy that space. Therefore, the logic of the universe is this: to give you something new, there must be space. It seems obvious, but we live ignoring this truth. You have been asking for a transformation. You have been asking for unlimited abundance. You have been asking for a soulmate love. You have been asking for a career with purpose. But your life, until recently, was full. It was full of limiting beliefs, full of people who vibrated in complaint, full of scarcity habits, full of mental noise, full of old objects you no longer use, and full of commitments that didn't make you happy. Your energetic house was cluttered with old, broken, and dirty furniture. Where did you expect the universe to put the solid gold furniture you asked for? There was no room. If the universe had sent the great love of your life 6 months ago, when you were still entertained with toxic relationships or distracted by social noise, you wouldn't have been able to recognize or receive them. You would have rejected it due to a lack of emotional space. If the universe had sent you the million-dollar idea when your mind was saturated with stress and daily drama, that idea would have bounced like a tennis ball against a brick wall. So the universe, in its infinite intelligence and because it knows you are ready, has taken initiative. It has sent its demolition and cleaning crew. What you have experienced in recent months as losses, distancing, or stagnation has not been a punishment. It has been a clearing operation. The universe has entered your life with a giant broom and has begun to sweep away everything that does not resonate with your new desire. Let's analyze this in depth, because loneliness is the most painful symptom of this void. Why do people leave? You have elevated your vibration. You have been working on yourself. You have been reading, meditating, visualizing. You have changed your radio frequency from the Complaint FM station to the Success AM station. Your old friends, your relatives, or your former partner, perhaps they are still tuned into the station of complaint, gossip, and victimhood. Before, when you also vibrated low, you fit with them like puzzle pieces. Their dramas fed your dramas. Their noise validated your noise. There was resonance. But now you are different. Your light disturbs their shadows. Your conversation about possibilities bores or irritates them because they only want to talk about problems. And vice versa, their conversations drain your energy, give you a headache, and are unbearable to you. The universe, seeing this dissonance, cuts the ties. Sometimes it does it gently. You simply stop calling each other. Sometimes it does it abruptly, a fight, a betrayal, or a misunderstanding that breaks the relationship suddenly. It hurts, yes. The ego clings to the known. The ego says, "But he is my childhood friend. How can I let him go?" But the spirit knows that this person, at this moment of their evolution, acts as an anchor. If they stay, you cannot take off. The universe has left you alone so that you can rise. It has removed the ballast. This loneliness you feel now is a decompression chamber. Imagine divers coming up from the bottom of the sea. They cannot go directly to the surface because the pressure would kill them. They have to spend time in an intermediate chamber to adjust their biology. The fertile void is your decompression chamber. You are between two worlds. The old world, your past, your old identity, your poverty, your loneliness, has died. It no longer exists. The new world, your future, your wealth, your love, is created in the quantum plane but has not yet landed in the 3D. You are in the hallway. You are at the 0 point. And here is where the magic happens, if you have the courage to sustain it. Most people fail at this exact point. Do you know why? Because they enter vacuum panic. They feel the silence, they feel the lack of stimuli, they feel the boredom, and their drama-addicted ego begins to have withdrawal symptoms. The ego screams, "This is boring, nobody loves me, nothing is happening." And to calm that anxiety, what do? They run back to the garbage dump to recover the trash the universe just took out. They call their toxic ex-partner just to not feel alone. They go partying with friends who contribute nothing to them just to kill time. They accept mediocre jobs just out of fear of not having income. They fill themselves with junk food, mindless television series, or hours of social media just to numb the silence. Don't do it. I beg you, don't do it. If you fill the void with old trash out of fear, you are occupying the sacred space that was reserved for your miracle. You are telling the universe, "I don't trust you. I don't believe you'll bring anything better, so I prefer to stay with my known old misery than wait for your new unknown blessing." And the universe, respecting your free will, stops the delivery of the gift. The moving truck with your new life turns around and leaves. Sustaining the void requires a titanic spiritual bravery. It requires sitting on your sofa on a Friday night, alone, in silence, and not feeling like a loser, but feeling like a king waiting for his coronation. It requires looking at your stagnant bank account and not panicking, knowing it is the low tide before the tsunami of prosperity. It requires looking at your empty bed and not crying for the absence of a partner, but enjoying the space to stretch out, knowing that soon you will have to share it. You have to learn to fall in love with nothing is happening. In Zen, this state is called mushin, no mind, or the state of pure potentiality. Think of winter. If you go out to the field in the middle of winter, it seems that everything is dead. The trees have no leaves. There are no flowers. The earth is hard and cold. There is absolute silence. If you judge by appearances, you would say, "There is no life here. This is a desert." But if you had X-ray vision and could look under the earth, you would see frantic activity. Seeds are breaking. Roots are expanding in the dark, looking for water, getting stronger, preparing for the burst of spring. Winter is not death, it is gestation. Silence is not absence, it is presence accumulating. You are in your personal winter. And it is a wonderful sign. It means that spring is inevitable. But you cannot force spring. You cannot pull the stems to make them grow faster. You have to trust the dark and silent process of the earth. There is another reason why the universe isolates you in the fertile void: frequency protection. A newborn has a very delicate immune system. You cannot take a newborn baby to a rock concert full of smoke and noise. You have to keep it in a controlled, clean, and silent environment until it strengthens. Your new self is a newborn. Your new vibration of wealth and success is still a small flame, a candle that has just been lit. If the universe kept you surrounded by the windstorms of your old life, criticism, envy, doubts, dramas, that candle would blow out. The universe has put you in quarantine. It has taken you out of the noise so that your flame can grow, stabilize, and become a torch. When you are a torch, the universe will return you to the world, because then the wind will no longer blow you out. The wind will fan your fire. But until then, isolation is your incubator. Look at it like this. If you are going to completely remodel your house, the first step is not to bring in the new furniture. The first step is to kick everyone out, cover the floor with plastics, and chip the walls. There is dust, there is noise, there is emptiness. It is not comfortable to live there during the work. But you endure the discomfort because you have the plans. You know how it's going to look. You are the architect of your life. You have the plans for your success. The fertile void is simply the construction zone. Don't complain about the dust. Don't complain that you have nowhere to sit right now. Celebrate that construction has begun. How should you behave during this signal number 1? What do you do when the phone doesn't ring and boredom attacks you? First, clean actively. Align yourself with the energy of the universe. If the universe is emptying your life, help it. Go to your closet and throw away clothes you no longer use. Discard clothes that make you feel poor or ugly. Go to your pantry and throw away the food that poisons you. Go to your phone and delete contacts, old photos, and conversations that tie you to the past. Clean your house thoroughly. Move the furniture. This physical act of cleaning is a powerful psycho-magic ritual. You are telling the universe, "Look, I am making space. I am so sure that the new is coming that I throw away the old without fear." Nature abhors a vacuum. If you leave drawers empty, the universe will go crazy trying to fill them. Second, practice active waiting. Don't wait with anguish checking the clock. Wait like someone waiting for a guest of honor who knows they are already on their way. If you know that the love of your life is coming to dinner tonight, do you throw yourself on the couch in pajamas to cry because they haven't arrived yet? No. You shower, you dress in your best clothes, you set the table, you light candles. You put on music and sit down to wait with a smile, with anticipation, with butterflies in your stomach. That is what you should do energetically. Dress for your new life. Act as if the guest is already ringing the doorbell. That vibration of happy anticipation is the most powerful magnetic force that exists. It turns the void from a sad hole into a receptive hole. Third, listen to the silence. Take advantage of the fact that no one is calling you to listen to yourself. For years, your inner voice has been drowned out by the opinions of others. You should do this, you should be that. Now that they are gone, what do you say? Who are you when no one is looking? What do you want when you don't have to please anyone? The fertile void is the only place where you can discover your true purpose. It is in this desert where prophets find God. It is in this silence where artists find the muse. It is in this solitude where entrepreneurs find vision. Don't run from the silence. Immerse yourself in it. Let it wash you, let it reset you, and finally understand the physics of the quantum leap. Imagine an arrow in a bow. For the arrow to shoot forward with incredible speed, first something that seems like the opposite must happen. It must be pulled back. There has to be a moment of maximum tension and absolute immobility. Just before releasing the string, the arrow does not move. It is still. It is in tension. It is alone. That is you now. Life has pulled you back. It has stopped you. It has put you in tension. It seems you have moved backward, but you are accumulating potential. The deeper the void, the more tense the solitude, the more violent and spectacular the shot forward will be. If your life has emptied completely, get ready, because it means you are going to fly further than ever. If it had only emptied a little, the shot would be small. But if the universe has left you with a blank page, it is because it wants to write an epic story, not another chapter of the same boring novel. So, brother, sister, if you are sitting there, feeling the echo of your own house, feeling that your friends no longer understand you, feeling that the world has stopped, smile. Lift your head and give thanks. You are not cursed, you are blessed. It is the calm before the storm of miracles. It is the blank canvas before the masterpiece. It is signal number one. The universe has turned off the theater lights, not because the show has ended, but because the real show is about to begin. And it needs darkness so the spotlight can illuminate only you. Hold the void. Do not move. Do not give up. Do not retreat. Hold on a little longer in that nothingness, because I promise you, by the unshakable laws of physics, that void is about to be filled with an abundance that not even your wildest imagination can conceive. The guest is at the door. Are you ready to open? Chapter 2. Biological Rejection. When your body and mind no longer tolerate toxicity, junk food, or the empty conversations of your old environment. If the first signal was the void in your social environment, the second signal is much more intimate, visceral, and often alarming. It occurs within your own skin. It is very likely that in recent weeks or months, you have begun to feel that your body has become capricious, weak, or intolerant. Things that you used to do with total normality now lay you out in bed. Foods you once enjoyed now give you nausea. Places you used to frequent now cause an immediate headache. Perhaps you used to go out on weekends, drink alcohol, stay up late, and function well the next day. Now, if you have 2 glasses of wine, you feel an emotional and physical hangover that lasts 3 days, as if you had ingested pure poison. Perhaps you used to eat fast food, processed sugars, or heavy meats without a second thought. Now, every time you do, your stomach inflames and your energy plummets. You feel a leaden heaviness in your limbs. Perhaps you could endure hours of superficial conversations, office gossip, or violent news on TV. Now, being exposed for 5 minutes to an argument or a news broadcast generates tachycardia, anxiety, or an imperious physical need to run away and lock yourself in silence. Your logical mind tells you, I'm getting old, I'm getting boring, I'm getting weak and sensitive. What's wrong with me? I used to be an all-terrain vehicle and now I seem made of glass. You may even have gone to the doctor thinking you have some food intolerance or chronic fatigue, and the tests come back perfect. Listen to me with the utmost attention, because what I am going to tell you will redefine your relationship with your physical vehicle forever. You are not sick, you are not weak, and you are definitely not getting old. You are experiencing signal number 2 that you are ready for the next level. You are living through a biological rejection of vibratory incompatibility. To understand this, we must stop seeing the body as a machine of flesh and bone and start seeing it for what it truly is, a hardware for energy processing. Imagine that for years you have been operating with an old operating system, let's say Windows 95. That system is slow, basic, and dense. It works fine with basic programs like dense food, dense emotions, and dense conversations. But you, through your inner work, your visualizations, and your awakening of consciousness, have downloaded a massive update. You have installed Quantum Software 10.0. You have asked for unlimited abundance, unconditional love, and divine purpose. Those are high-speed, high-frequency programs. They are data of pure light. What happens when you try to run next-generation software on an old, dusty computer? The hardware heats up, the fans roar, the system crashes. The machine screams at you, I can't process this with these old circuits. I need a hardware upgrade. Your physical body is the densest part of your soul. The soul travels fast, the body travels slow. Your consciousness has already moved to the attic, but your body is still stuck in the basement. What you are feeling now, the nausea, the sudden tiredness, the intolerances, is not illness. It is your body trying to purge density at full speed so it can sustain the immense amount of light and energy you are about to receive. The universe knows you are ready mentally, but it knows that if it delivers the energy of $1 million or a great love right now, with your body full of toxins and low vibration, that energy would fry your circuits. So it has initiated a forced detoxification protocol. Let's analyze the 3 fronts where this biological rejection manifests most violently. Allergy to chemical toxicity, the end of anesthesia. For years you used food, alcohol, tobacco, or sugar not as fuel, but as anesthesia. You lived in a reality you didn't like, the job you hated, loneliness, stress, and to not feel the pain of that incoherence, you lowered your own vibration by ingesting dense substances. Eating until you burst numbed you. Drinking alcohol disconnected you. Smoking gave you a false calm. They were survival mechanisms to endure a low-frequency life. But now you have awakened. You have asked for the truth. You have asked for connection. And when consciousness awakens, anesthesia stops working and begins to be rejected as poison. Your body, which is now trying to tune into a very fine radio frequency, intuition, signs, synchronicity, needs to be clean. If you put alcohol into your system, you are putting in pure statics. You are dirtying the antenna. Before, your body tolerated the dirt because the signal you received was garbage anyway. But now that you are receiving high-definition signals, divine inspiration, million-dollar ideas, any speck of dust on the antenna interrupts the transmission. That is why, suddenly, junk food tastes like plastic. Literally. That is why alcohol depresses you instead of making you happy. That is why you feel an insatiable thirst for pure water and living foods. It is not a moral diet. It's not that you have to be vegan to be spiritual. It is pure fluid mechanics. A Formula One car does not run on cheap diesel mixed with sand. If you put that in, the engine explodes. You are becoming a Formula One. Your body is demanding high-octane fuel. This rejection can be brutal. You might feel sick after a normal family meal. The ego will tell you, what a party pooper you are. You can't enjoy anything anymore. Don't believe it. You aren't losing the ability to enjoy. You are losing the ability to poison yourself unconsciously. Your body is protecting you. It is telling you, we no longer belong to that density. If you want to fly high, you have to let go of the sandbags. Obey your body. If it asks for water, give it water. If it asks to fast, fast. If it asks to leave meat or sugar, do it. It is an operational necessity for manifestation. Allergy to social toxicity, the energy vampires. This is the symptom that will cause the most problems in your daily life, but it is the clearest sign you have leveled up. It is called auric field incompatibility. We all have an electromagnetic field around the body, the aura. When two people talk, their fields mix and exchange information. Before, your field vibrated low: fear, complaint, scarcity. When you got together with friends who complained about the government or their partners, there was a fluid energy transfer. You were compatible. You fed each other on that density. But now you vibrate in hope, in projects, in gratitude, in vision. Your field spins fast and shines. When you approach a person who still vibrates in victimhood, envy, or gossip, a real physical clash occurs. Your high-frequency field crashes against their dense, sticky field. And what do you feel? You feel drained. You feel like they are sucking the life out of you. After 5 minutes talking to that person, you feel exhausted, as if you had run a marathon. Your head starts to ache. You feel irritable. You feel the urge to yawn compulsively. Yawning is a quick way to release negative energy. This is not that you've become antisocial or arrogant, it is physics. Light and darkness cannot occupy the same space without conflict. If you are a 1000-watt bulb and you connect to a 10-watt grid, you will burn the installation, or you will dim yourself to fit in. Your body is reacting violently with fatigue and rejection to prevent you from lowering your voltage. Sudden tiredness is a defense mechanism. Your soul is telling you, get away, this interaction is costing us too much. We are losing energy we need to build our dream. A point will come where you can't fake it anymore. Before you could put on a fake smile and endure a Christmas dinner full of criticism, now you will feel like you lack air. You will feel like you're choking. You will have to get up and leave. People will tell you, you've changed. You think you're better than us. It's not that you think you're better. It's that you can no longer breathe underwater. And they insist on living at the bottom of the ocean. This biological rejection of negative people is the sign that the universe is building a security perimeter around you. It is making you allergic to mediocrity, so you have no choice but to seek excellence. It is forcing you to be alone, signal 1, so that from that clean solitude you can attract your new tribe. Allergy to noise and lies, the truth detector. Finally, this biological rejection extends to information. Your nervous system is becoming hypersensitive to lies and manipulation. It is as if you have developed an internal lie detector connected to your stomach. You watch the news and suddenly you feel a physical repulsion. You see the manipulation. You see the prefabricated fear. You see the intent to control, and it disgusts you. You have to turn off the TV. You see a violent or horror movie that used to entertain you, and now it seems unbearable. You feel the pain of the characters as if it were yours. Your empathy has skyrocketed. Your neuronal mirror is so clean that you no longer distinguish between the pain on the screen and real pain. This is wonderful, though uncomfortable. It means your heart has opened. And something more fascinating happens. You can no longer lie to yourself. Before, you could go to a job you hated and say, "It's not so bad," and your body endured. Now, if you try to go to that job you hate, your body goes on strike. You get a fever on Sunday night. Your back hurts on Monday morning. You have panic attacks in the car. Your body is shouting, "No, the lie is over. We didn't come for this. Either live your truth or I shut down the system." Biological rejection is the guardian of your integrity. It prevents you from falling back asleep. It prevents you from settling. Every time you try to betray your soul to please others or out of fear of scarcity, your body punishes you with pain or discomfort. And every time you follow your intuition, it rewards you. It rewards you with inexhaustible energy and iron health. It is a behavioral training system. The universe is domesticating you through biology. It is teaching you lie, fear, toxicity, pain, truth, love, purity, pleasure, and energy. Why does the universe do this right now? Because what you are about to manifest requires an immaculate container. If you are going to channel a $1,000,000 idea, you need a brain that is not inflamed by sugar. If you are going to sustain a soulmate relationship, you need a heart that is not anesthetized by alcohol or cynicism. The process of the ascension flu. Sometimes this process reaches its climax with what mystics call the ascension flu or a healing crisis. Suddenly, without an apparent virus, you feel sick. You have a fever, you sweat, your bones ache, rashes appear on your skin. You go to the doctor and nothing is wrong. It is a purge. Your body is burning cellular karma. It is expelling memories of trauma lodged in your tissues. It is rewriting your DNA so it can conduct more light. It's like when an old building is renovated. Old pipes have to be broken and dirty water comes out. If you are going through this, don't panic. Don't medicate to cover up the symptom. Unless it's serious, use common sense. Rest. Drink liters of water. Sleep. Let the body do its engineering work. You are shedding your skin like a snake. The old skin has become too small. It tightens. It itches. It's annoying. The process of letting go is uncomfortable. But under that old dry skin, there is a new, shiny, flexible skin. A skin capable of feeling the world with an intensity you never imagined. What to do with signal number 2? First, stop judging your body. Ask for its forgiveness. Tell it, "I'm sorry for poisoning you. Thank you for warning me. I listened to you." Your body is your most faithful ally. It is the only one that will tell you the truth when your mind tries to deceive you with logic. If your mind says, "I must go to that party," but your body says no, listen to the body, always. Second, raise your consumption standards. Treat your body like the temple it is. You are not a trash can where cheap food, toxic drinks, or junk information can be thrown. You are an instrument of high precision. You are the Stradivarius of the universe. A violinist does not use a Stradivarius to drive nails into the wall. He cares for it, cleans it, and tunes it every day. Tune your instrument. Eat things that have life, condensed sunlight, drink pure water, breathe clean air. When you do this, you send a powerful signal to the universe. I value myself. I am sacred. I am ready to receive the sacred. And the universe responds by delivering the sacred to you. Third, be relentless with your environment. This is the hardest part, but it is vital. You have to learn to say no without guilt. No, I'm not going to that dinner because I don't feel good there. No, I don't want to hear that gossip. No need for explanations. It doesn't resonate with me is a complete sentence. At first, people will be offended, but with time, they will respect you. They will see your glow. They will see that you have something they have lost, real vitality. And then, they will stop criticizing you and start asking, "What are you doing? You look incredible." And you will smile, knowing that light is simply the result of having stopped ingesting darkness. The hidden gift of biological rejection. This signal is ultimately an act of deep love from the universe. It is giving you back your sensitivity. When you were anesthetized, you didn't feel pain, it's true. But you didn't feel pleasure either. Life was gray. Food tasted like nothing. Love was lukewarm. Joy was mediocre. By removing the anesthesia, pain hurts more, yes, but joy. Joy. Now a sunset can make you cry with ecstasy. The taste of a real strawberry can be a mystical experience. A deep conversation with a kindred soul can make you feel higher than any drug. You have recovered your capacity to feel life. The intensity has returned. So if you feel sick from toxicity, if your body rejects your old life, congratulations. It means your old life has died. It means your cells are vibrating so fast they can no longer sustain density. It means you are ready to inhabit a new world cleaner and brighter. And do not run to the doctor for a pill to help you keep enduring the unbearable. Do not seek to fall back asleep. Accept the awakening. Accept the purge. Drink water. Rest. And prepare yourself. Because a body that rejects poison is a body ready to become the channel for miracles. Chapter 3. Controlled Demolition. Why everything seems to break, be lost or collapse right before the great quantum leap. If the previous two signals, loneliness and physical rejection, were uncomfortable, this third signal is, for most people, absolutely terrifying. It is the turning point where 99% of aspiring manifestors abandon ship, throw in the towel, and return to their lives as victims, convinced that spirituality is a scam, or they have bad luck. It is very likely that right now, when you feel ready, when you have raised your vibration and asked the universe for a better life, your physical reality has decided to explode into 1,000 pieces. It seems like a cruel joke. It seems like Murphy's Law elevated to the maximum power. Suddenly, in the same week, your car breaks down. Your washing machine floods the kitchen. Your computer, where you had that important project, dies without warning. And it's not just objects. Your boss calls you and fires you without apparent justification. Your landlord tells you that you have to leave the apartment where you have lived for 5 years. Your partner leaves you overnight. You look at the sky with tears in your eyes and a racing heart and scream, "But I'm doing everything right. I'm visualizing, I'm giving thanks, I'm vibrating high. Why are you punishing me now? Why is the world falling on me just when I asked for help?" The answer I'm going to give you will stop your panic in its tracks. It is not a punishment. It is not an accident. And it is definitely not bad luck. What you are experiencing is signal number 3 that your desire has already been granted on the energetic plane. You are witnessing a controlled demolition. To understand this, you have to stop thinking like a frightened tenant and start thinking like a divine architect. Imagine that you have lived all your life in a small old wooden cabin with leaks and rotten foundations. That cabin represents your old identity, your limited income, and your fragile health. One day, you wake up and tell the universe, "I'm ready. I want to live in a glass skyscraper. I want massive abundance. I want to touch the sky." The universe takes your order and says, "Granted, we are going to build the skyscraper." But here comes the physical problem. You cannot build a 100-story skyscraper on the rotten foundations of a wooden cabin. The old structure does not support the weight of the new life. If the universe tried to put your $1 million on top, without changing the structure, the weight of that blessing would crush your reality and kill you. Therefore, before putting the first glass brick of the skyscraper, the universe has an inescapable obligation. It has to demolish the cabin. It has to enter with the wrecking ball and clear everything. It has to break the old walls. You, from your limited human perspective, are inside the cabin while this happens. You see the dust, you hear the noise, and you shout, my life is breaking, help!" But the universe from above tells you, "Quiet. I am not destroying your life. I am destroying your limit. I am making space for what you asked me for." Controlled demolition is the most aggressive test of faith. It requires you to stand still in the middle of chaos, swallowing dust, and that instead of crying, you smile knowing that everything that breaks is a space freed for something infinitely superior. Let's analyze the 3 levels of this demolition. The rebellion of matter, when objects explode. It is a fascinating phenomenon. When a person drastically raises their vibratory frequency, the inanimate objects around them begin to fail. Why does your car break down? Why does the light bulb explode? Everything is energy. Physical objects have an energetic capacitance. They were charged with your old vibration. Your old car has the energy of your sad trips to the job you hated. Your old sofa has the energy of your afternoons of depression. They are tuned to the frequency of scarcity. You now vibrate in abundance. There is a voltage dissonance. Your auric field is too powerful for the molecular structure of those old objects. When your car breaks irreparably right before a big interview, the ego says, "Bad luck." The spirit says, "This vehicle is no longer worthy of who I am now. Its cycle has ended. The universe is forcing me to get rid of it because the vehicle that corresponds to my new frequency is already on its way." Sometimes the breaking of objects is a sacrifice of protection. In many mystical traditions, objects are known to absorb an energetic blow directed at you. If you were about to suffer a serious accident, your car decided to break its engine so you wouldn't go out that day. The object dies so that you remain intact. Never ever get angry with an object that breaks. Do not insult it, thank it. Say, "Thank you for your service. Thank you for taking this old energy. I release you. I make space for the new." If you bless the break, you accelerate the arrival of the replacement. If you curse it, you stay trapped in the rubble. The cosmic dismissal, the kick out of the nest. This is perhaps the most painful form of demolition, the loss of the source of income. You've been asking for financial freedom, and suddenly, you're fired. Your mind enters survival terror. My God, I'm going to end up under a bridge. I asked for wealth, and you give me unemployment. Don't you see the irony and perfection? You asked for freedom, but you were clinging to the security of a cage. You hated that job, but you didn't have the courage to leave because the paycheck was your drug. The universe knew you would never jump on your own. So, because it loves you and wants to give you your empire, the universe pushed you. The mother eagle pushes her chicks into the void. She does it because she knows they have wings. That dismissal is not a tragedy. It is your forced liberation. It is the universe locking the back door so you have no choice but to walk forward. Now you have to triumph. Now you have to bring out your genius. I have seen this hundreds of times. People who are fired spend 3 months of panic and a year later have their own successful company. They tell you, being fired was the best thing that happened to me. You are in those 3 months of panic right now. Do not believe the fear. Look at it and say, I accept the challenge. I'm going to fly. The Tower of Relationships, the end of the karmic contract. We reach the demolition of the heart. You have asked for a true love that respects you. To give you that, the universe has to remove from your life the person occupying that place with a low vibration. Sometimes the breakup is brutal. You discover infidelity, or they suddenly become cold. You feel like your heart is being torn out. But once again observe the mechanics. That relationship was based on old patterns, need, fear of loneliness, or shared traumas. It was a structure of the old cabin. You have changed. Your vibration is no longer compatible. The relationship breaks because the foundations can no longer handle the light you emit. The other person feels you are leaving vibrationally and enters reactive panic, or simply feels the impulse to leave because they no longer fit in your movie. The universe is cleaning. It is removing the extras who no longer have a role. If you try to hold them, you are trying to glue rubble with cheap glue. Remember this golden phrase, loss is the price of admission to the new life. No one enters the promised land carrying the suitcases of Egypt. You have to let go. The paradox of immunity to chaos. So what should you do when everything explodes? How do you survive controlled demolition? Here is the secret of the masters. Practice immunity to chaos. You have to become the eye of the hurricane. In a hurricane, peripheral winds spin at 300 km/h, but in the exact center, there is absolute silence and peace. You are the eye. Your outer world is the periphery. Let it spin, let it break. But you, your consciousness, your I am, remains motionless in the center. Do not react. Do not scream. Do not complain on social media. Do not identify with the rubble. You are not the broken car. You are the eternal observer. When the machine breaks, breathe and say, it's fine, it's just matter reorganizing. When you lose money, say, it's fine, it's just the flow clearing the channel for the bigger river. Adopt an attitude of scientific curiosity instead of dramatic victimhood. Wow, look how fast everything is breaking, how exciting. This attitude confuses the devil, literally. The matrix expects you to break. It expects you to lower your vibration to fear. If you do, you validate the old reality and the demolition stops, leaving you living among ruins. But if you respond with peace and certainty, you hack the system. You show you are ready for the skyscraper. The ultimate test of faith. This signal number 3 is the final exam. It is the dark night before the dawn. The universe is asking you, do you trust me only when I give you gifts, or do you trust me also when I take away what hinders you? Is your faith conditional, or is it absolute? If you can stand in the middle of the ruins of your old life and say thank you, because I know this is the prelude to my victory, then you have already won. Nothing can stop someone who is not afraid to lose anything. You become invincible. No one demolishes a wasteland, only valuable land where something important is going to be built. Do not try to stop the demolition. Do not cry for the old walls. They were full of mold and sad memories. Let them fall. Let what must break, break. Let whoever must leave, leave. You stay standing, firm, with the vision of your desire clear. Because when the dust settles, you will see that the universe has cleared the ground. Demolition is the guarantee of construction. Welcome to the construction zone of your miracle. Chapter 4. Aggressive Synchronicity. Repeated numbers. impossible coincidences, and the God algorithm chasing you. If you have survived the fertile void, if you have purged your body through biological rejection, and if you have maintained faith while your life crumbled in controlled demolition, get ready, because the universe, after having tested your resistance, is now going to reward your attention. The silence is over. Signal number 4 is, without a doubt, the most mind-blowing and sometimes unsettling experience of spiritual awakening. It is the moment when physical reality stops behaving like something solid and predictable and starts behaving like intelligent software interacting with you in real time. It is the phenomenon of aggressive synchronicity. I am not talking about normal coincidences, like finding a coin on the ground. I am talking about events that defy all statistical probability. Coincidences so precise and constant that they force you to stop in the street, look at the sky, and ask, "Is this a joke? Is there a hidden camera? Are you speaking to me?" Suddenly the universe stops being subtle. It takes off the gloves, grabs a megaphone, and starts screaming in your face that yes, it has heard you, and you are on the right path. It is as if you have hacked the source code of the Matrix. Where there were once walls, there are now doors opening. Where there was silence, there are messages. You start seeing numerical sequences, 1111, 222, 444, everywhere. You think of someone you haven't seen in 10 years, and they call you 3 minutes later. You have an existential doubt, and the answer appears written on the bumper of a truck crossing in front of you. Your logical mind tries to rationalize it as curious at first. But a point comes where the frequency is so high that logic breaks. You can no longer call it coincidence. You have to call it by its name, dialogue. You have established a direct fiber optic line with infinite intelligence. The God algorithm has found you. Let's analyze how this manifests and how you must use it to navigate. Numerical bombardment, the angel's binary code. The most universal way this signal begins is through numbers. Pythagoras said, "The universe is made of numbers." Tesla said, "If you understood 3, 6, and 9, you would have the key to the universe." Numbers are pure frequencies. When you are ready, the universe starts using this code to grab your attention. It is probably happening to you now. You look at the clock, 11:11. You buy a coffee and the receipt is 3:33. You are driving and the license plate in front of you is 555. You wake up at 4:44 a.m. It doesn't happen once a week. It happens 20 times a day. They are chasing you. You feel as if the numbers are stalking you. What does this mean? You don't need to be an expert in numerology. The meta message of seeing repeated numbers is simpler and more powerful. It means you are online. It means signal confirmation. Imagine you are a pilot flying in the fog. Suddenly your cockpit instruments light up and beep in a rhythmic sequence. Those beeps mean you have caught the radar of the control tower. They mean you are no longer flying blind. Each time you see 1111, it is the universe patting you on the back and saying, "I see you. You are awake. Keep the course. Your vibration is high. You are synchronized with the present moment." It is a cosmic wink. The function of these numbers is to break the trance. You are lost in thoughts of worry, "I have no money," and suddenly, bam, you see 2222. That visual shock pulls you out of the negative loop. It brings you to the now. It reminds you that something bigger is happening behind the curtain. If you see the numbers, be glad. It is the scientific proof that your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters reality, has been reprogrammed to search for patterns of magic instead of danger. Your brain has become a radar for miracles. Instant telepathy, the collapse of waiting time. The second phase of aggressive synchronicity is even wilder. It is when the time between your thought and the physical manifestation reduces to almost zero. Before, you thought of something and it took months to appear or never did. Now the time buffer is dissolving. Your thought is printing reality almost instantaneously. You are in the shower and remember an old song. You get in the car, turn on the radio, and that exact song is playing. Or you are worried about a debt. You sit in a cafe, and the people at the next table start talking loudly about how they solved that exact same problem. You think of a friend and their message arrives right then. This is not chance. This is quantum entanglement. It demonstrates that your mind and outer reality are no longer separated by a thick wall of resistance. They are merging. This signal is a double-edged sword. If you can manifest a song or a call so fast, you can also manifest your fears instantly. Aggressive synchronicity is a warning of responsibility. Careful what you think, architect, because your 3D printer is in high-speed mode. Take these telepathies as training. The universe is showing you its muscles. It's saying, if I can put that song on in 2 minutes, do you think it's hard to put the million in your account? The library of the universe. When information finds you, there is a specific signal when you are ready to jump, but lack a piece of the puzzle, knowledge or strategy. The universe becomes your personal librarian. You no longer have to search desperately. The information hunts you down. If you want to heal your body, suddenly the first YouTube recommendation is a doctor talking about your symptom. You go to an aunt's house, and a forgotten book on the table covers that topic. An influencer you follow for fashion suddenly posts a story about that same healing technique. 3 different sources in 24 hours pointing to the same thing. This is called the rule of 3. When the universe wants you to know, it tells you 3 times. It is as if the universe grabs your face and says, read this, here is the key, stop ignoring the hint. Many people see these signs and do nothing. How curious, they say, and move on. Fatal error. If aggressive synchronicity puts a book or video in front of you 3 times, consume it, buy it, read it. That is your breadcrumb. The universe rarely drops a bag of money on your head. Usually it drops the idea, the contact, or the skill that will lead you to that money. Synchronicity is the treasure map. If you see the X on the map and don't dig, don't complain about being poor. The universe did its part by putting the map in your face. Your part is to dig. The Truman Show sensation, paranoia. This signal is a very peculiar internal sensation. In The Truman Show, the protagonist discovers his world is a set and everything revolves around him. In aggressive synchronicity, you feel like that. But not from paranoia, from pronoia. Pronoia is the wonderful suspicion that the whole universe is conspiring in your favor. You start to feel like the protagonist of your own movie. You feel like the trees are waving at you. You feel like the sun rises for you. You have the warm sensation of being watched over and guided by an invisible, loving presence. You walk the streets smiling because you are part of an inside joke with God. This feeling is real. You have entered the flow. Flow is the state of minimum resistance and maximum efficiency. You have stopped being an extra in others' movies and assumed the role of director. And like any good protagonist, the script protects you. If you feel the world is winking at you, you are seeing the golden threads. The devil's advocate manifestation, opposition synchronicity. I must warn you of a variant that makes many give up. Sometimes, right when you decide to go for your dream, the universe sends a negative or challenging synchronicity. You decide to quit smoking. 5 minutes later, an old friend offers you your favorite brand, or you find a full pack on the ground. Is it a sign to smoke? No. It is a confirmation test. The universe is asking, are you sure? Are you serious? It puts temptation there to see if your decision is real or just a whim. If you say no thanks and keep going, your decision solidifies. You've proven your new identity is non-negotiable. Success then accelerates. What to do with aggressive synchronicity? Many make the mistake of remaining passive spectators. Synchronicity is not entertainment, it is fuel for action. Step 1. Recognize and thank. Say, I see you. Thanks for the confirmation. This closes the feedback loop. If the universe sends signals and you ignore them, it stops sending them. By thanking, you ask for more. Step 2. Follow the energy. Synchronicity brings a charge. Use it immediately. If you think of a friend and they call, answer. That call brings a gift or opportunity. If you see the book 3 times, read it. If you get a business idea and feel goosebumps, take the first step today. Buy the domain. Synchronicity has a short shelf life. Step 3. Trust the invisible network. This signal is here to kill your fear. It is impossible to feel real fear when you see the universe weaving such an obvious safety net. When doubt arrives, remember the signals. Use your synchronicity history as evidence in the trial against your fear. Tell your ego, look at the data, relax. Conclusion of Signal 4. You are being pursued, not by a predator but by your own destiny. Your dreams have localized you and are running toward you faster than you run toward them. The barriers of time and space are melting. 1111 is not just a number. It is the sound of the trumpets of Jericho tearing down the walls of your old reality. You are living in a magical world. It always was, but your eyes were closed. Now they are open. Enjoy the show. Play with the universe. Ask for specific signs. Show me a yellow feather if I should do this, and watch how it laughs with you and delivers. Aggressive synchronicity is the universe inviting you to dance. Get on the floor. Signal 5, the death of drama. The total loss of interest in gossip, fighting and others' problems, and the massive release of energy. If you have made it this far, you have survived isolation, purged your body, and kept the faith while your world broke apart. Now the universe gives you signal number 5, a sign that, paradoxically, many confuse with apathy, depression, or coldness, but which is actually the definitive symptom of spiritual maturity. It is very likely that in your old life, you were a person who fed, consciously or unconsciously, on drama. Perhaps you loved knowing the latest office gossip. Perhaps you spent hours on the phone listening to that friend who always has the same problem and never solves it, giving them advice they never followed, feeling like a savior. Perhaps you were hooked on the news, getting indignant about politics, screaming at the television, sharing furious links on Facebook, feeling that you were fighting for justice by being angry. Perhaps in your relationship or family, you were addicted to having the last word. If someone provoked you, you jumped like a spring. You defended your ego tooth and nail. Discussions gave you a strange injection of adrenaline. You felt alive when you were in conflict. But something has radically changed in recent weeks. Suddenly, drama makes you sleepy, literally. Someone comes to tell you juicy gossip, and instead of leaning in with curiosity, you feel physical rejection. Your brain disconnects. You feel that information is garbage, noise, static. You surprise yourself thinking, and why do I care about this? Why do they waste their lives talking about others? You turn on the news, and after 3 minutes of seeing tragedies, crises, and shouting, you feel your energy draining through your feet. You feel dirty. You have to turn it off. Your partner or a family member tries to start an absurd discussion over a domestic trifle, one of those fights that before would have lasted 3 days of shouting and uncomfortable silences. But now, you look at them and feel no anger. You feel no desire to defend yourself. You feel a deep existential laziness. You say, "You're right, I'm sorry. Let's talk about something else." Or you simply shut up and walk away. Not because you have given up, not because you are weak, but because you have realized that your inner peace is more expensive than your need to be right. Your ego, accustomed to war, panics. It tells you, you're becoming a vegetable. You don't care about anything. You're becoming cold and arrogant. You should get involved. But your soul smiles and says, "No, my love, you're not becoming cold. You are becoming sovereign. You are reclaiming your energy. You are experiencing the death of drama. And this is the unequivocal sign that the universe knows you are ready to handle great amounts of power, because you have finally learned to close the leaks through which you used to lose your old power. Let's analyze the hidden mechanics of this signal, because understanding it will avoid much social guilt and allow you to use that enormous flow of recovered energy to build your empire. The physics of energy vampirism, the loosh. To understand why drama repels you now, you must understand what drama is at a quantum level. Drama is not things that happen. Drama is a low-frequency energy transaction. In esoteric circles, the negative emotional energy generated when humans suffer, fight, or feel fear is called loosh. It is food for low-vibration entities and for unconscious people who act as such. Most people around you are unknowingly addicted to this energy. They live disconnected from the source, from the universe, God, or their own being. Since they are disconnected, they cannot generate their own vital energy. They feel empty, bored, and dead inside. To feel alive, they need to steal energy from others. How is energy stolen? By provoking an intense emotional reaction. If I insult you and you get angry, you have given me your energy. If I tell you a tragedy and you worry and cry with me, you have given me your energy. If I play the victim and you try to save me, you have given me your energy. Before you played this game, you were an unconscious vampire or a voluntary victim. You exchanged toxic emotional fluids with your environment to feel that you belonged. But now you have plugged your connection directly into the source. You have learned to meditate, to visualize, to give thanks. You are full of your own light. You generate your own energy. You no longer need to steal it or give it away to feel validated. You have become a closed and self-sufficient energy system. That is why when someone comes with drama, you see it for what it is, an attempted robbery. You see that person, your complaining friend, your conflictive relative, not as someone with problems, but as a junkie looking for their dose of attention and cortisol. And your spiritual immune system reacts with repulsion. It tells you, close the door, protect the reserve, we need that energy to manifest the dream. This repulsion is a sign of high vibratory hygiene. Just as you would not eat rotten food from the garbage now, signal 2. Now you do not accept rotten emotions from the collective mind. The universe is shielding you. It is teaching you that your attention is the most valuable currency in the cosmos. Detoxifying from cortisol mania, the end of chemical addiction. There is a biological reason why drama is so hard to quit. It is a hard drug. When you get angry, indignant, or afraid, your brain orders your adrenal glands to release a cocktail of stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, and noradrenaline. These substances give you an immediate rush. You feel alert. You feel powerful, even if from rage. You feel that time accelerates. If you have lived 20, 30, or 40 years in an environment of stress and drama, your cells have become addicted to these chemicals. Literally, your cellular receptors ask for cortisol to feel normal. That is why people look for problems where there are none. That is why when everything goes well and there is calm, unconscious people get nervous and say, everything is too quiet, something bad is going to happen. And they provoke an absurd fight just to feel the hit of stress again. They need their dose. You, in your awakening process, have detoxified your body from this addiction. You have begun to value serotonin, peace, oxytocin, love, and natural dopamine, creativity. Your cells no longer ask for poison, they ask for calm. Therefore, when drama appears, you no longer feel the excitement of before. You feel nausea, you feel fatigue. It is like an ex-smoker who smells tobacco smoke after a clean year. Before they liked it, now it gives them a cough and disgust. Your body is telling you, please, do not put that in here again. It cost us a lot to clean it. The death of drama is proof that your biology has changed. You have gone from being a conflict addict to being a gourmet of peace. Now you know that peace is not the absence of war. Peace is a real physical substance, golden and dense, that runs through your veins, and you are not willing to dilute it for anything or anyone. The holy boredom phenomenon. This is where social conflict enters. Your longtime friends invite you to dinner. Before, the dinner consisted of 3 hours of criticizing the government, speaking ill of those not present, complaining about how hard it is to earn money, or remembering tragedies of the past. You go to the dinner with your new vibration, and you realize, horrified, that you are mortally bored. You look at their mouths moving and only hear noise. You try to change the subject. You speak of ideas. You speak of projects. You speak of gratitude. They look at you strangely. There is an uncomfortable silence, and within 2 minutes they return to complaining. You realize they have nothing else to talk about. Their bond is based on sharing miseries. You feel like an alien. You go home early, making an excuse. And upon arriving at your house, in silence, you feel happy. This boredom is not arrogance. It is a frequency mismatch. As the saying goes, great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people. You have migrated to the great mind. Gossip about people seems as irrelevant to you as analyzing yesterday's trash. This holy boredom is a protection signal from the universe. The universe makes you feel bored so that you leave that place. It is telling you, my child, there is nothing here for you. This land is sterile. Do not plant your seeds here. Go. Do not feel guilty for being bored. Do not try to lower your level to fit in and entertain yourself with garbage. That would be betraying yourself. The neutrality of the observer, the eye of the hurricane. The most powerful manifestation of this signal is your new capacity not to react. Before, you were a paper boat in the storm. Any wave capsized you. A dirty look from your boss ruined your day. A sarcastic comment from your mother-in-law made you cry. Now, you have become the deep ocean. On the surface there may be waves, people shouting, the economy fluctuating, but in your depth 10 kilometers down, the water is still, dark, and silent. Nothing moves it. Something bad happens in your reality, signal 3, controlled demolition. And instead of screaming and pulling your hair, you stay still. You observe the problem. You analyze it with clinical coldness. You say, wow, this is interesting. Let's see how the universe solves it. Let's see what I have to learn. This silent witness attitude drives people who want drama crazy. They try to provoke you, poke you, get you out of your boxes, and you look at them with compassion, like someone looking at a 3-year-old having a tantrum on the supermarket floor. You don't get angry with the child. You don't throw yourself on the floor to scream with him. You simply wait for him to finish, wipe his nose, and keep shopping. That is your new relationship with the unconscious world. You have become the adult in the room. People will tell you, you have no blood in your veins, you don't care about anything. Your calm bothers them because it acts as a mirror that shows them their own chaos. Your silence judges them without you saying a word. Maintain that neutrality. It is your greatest superpower. What to do with all this released energy? Here is the key to signal 5. The death of drama is not an end in itself. It is a means to an end. Imagine that for years you have had a water leak in your house. You lost 1,000 liters of water a day. You paid huge bills and were always thirsty. Suddenly you fix the leak, you leave drama. Now you have 1,000 liters of extra water every day. What are you going to do with it? If you don't use it, it will stagnate and rot. The reason the universe has taken away your taste for drama is because it needs you to use that energy to create. The energy you used to spend on arguing, watching news, and ruminating on problems, total 10 hours of pure psychic energy a day. Now that energy is free. It is a nuclear flow. You have to redirect that laser immediately toward your vision. Step 1. Obsessive focus on creation. Use the time and mind you used for gossip to study your new skill, to write your book, to design your business, to visualize your healthy body. The boredom you feel with empty people is the signal to go to your cave and work on your legacy. Step 2. The grey rock technique. When you have to interact obligatorily with dramatic people, be as boring, as neutral, and as flat as a grey rock. If they say, "Have you heard the scandal?" you respond, "No, pass me the salt, please." If they say, "You are selfish," you respond, "It's possible, how's the weather?" Do not give them louche. Do not give them reaction. When the vampire sees the rock has no blood, they go find another victim, and you are free. Step 3. Bless and cut. Do not judge those still in drama. Remember, you were there recently. They are asleep. Their drama is their way of screaming that life hurts them. Look at them with compassion. Wish them light mentally. Signal 4, synchronicity and blessing. And then cut the cord. It is not your job to wake them up. Your only job is to keep your light on. A lighthouse doesn't run looking for boats to save. It stays still and shines. Conclusion of Signal 5. If you feel that your social life has died, that the news sickens you and that fights make you laugh, congratulations, you have recovered your sovereignty. You have stopped being a puppet of collective emotions. You have stopped being a slave to reaction to become a master of creation. The universe knows you are ready because you are no longer distracted by the noise. And when a creator is not distracted, they become dangerous. They become unstoppable. You have a tank full of high-octane fuel, your preserved energy. You have the map, your visualizations. You have the vehicle, your new body. You no longer have time for drama because you have a mission that is too important to fulfill. People will wonder why you are so quiet. They don't know you are building a kingdom in silence. Let them talk. You keep building. The noise is for the spectators. The silence is for the kings. Chapter 6. Peace in the eye of the hurricane. Feeling an inexplicable and supernatural calm while your outside world looks like absolute chaos. If you have made it this far, you have seen how your environment emptied, signal 1, how your body rejected the toxic, signal 2, how your structures broke, signal 3, how synchronicities bombarded you, signal 4, and how others' drama stopped interesting you, signal 5. But signal number 6 is different. It does not have to do with what is happening outside, nor with what others are doing. It has to do exclusively with what is not happening inside of you. It is very likely that you are living through a situation that, by the normal standards of society, should have you on the verge of a nervous breakdown. Perhaps you have accumulated debts and bank notices arrive in the mail. Perhaps your job situation is up in the air, or you have just lost your employment. Perhaps you are in the middle of a complicated divorce, a forced move, or an uncertain medical diagnosis. If you looked at your life from the outside, you would say the protagonist should cry. Your friends and family, when you tell them what is happening, look at you with eyes of terror and say, "My God, and what are you going to do? It's terrible." But you don't feel any of that. You look at the bank notice, and instead of tachycardia, you feel a strange indifference. You look at the layoff letter and feel like smiling. You go to bed at night knowing that your logical world is burning, and yet you sleep like a baby, deeply, without nightmares. You get up in the morning and, instead of running like a headless chicken seeking desperate solutions, you prepare your coffee with calm, enjoy the aroma, look out the window, and feel a supernatural peace. This peace is so deep, so illogical, and so contrary to the circumstances that your rational mind, the ego, begins to get scared. Your ego screams at you, "Hey, what's wrong with you? Have you gone mad? You should be scared. React. We are in danger." You start to wonder if you are in shock or if you have dissociated from reality. You feel guilty for being calm. You think, "I should worry more. I am irresponsible." Today I have come to take away that guilt and give you the greatest confirmation of your spiritual life. You are not crazy, you are not in denial, and you are not irresponsible. You are experiencing signal number 6. You have entered the eye of the hurricane. This signal is the definitive proof that your consciousness has migrated dimensions. You have stopped living in 3D, the world of effects, fear, and dense matter, and have begun to inhabit 4D, the world of causes, faith, and creative imagination. Your body is here in the storm, but your real self is observing the rain without getting wet. The physics of the eye, why calm is power, not passivity. To understand what is happening to you, let's look at meteorology. A hurricane is the most destructive force in nature. Winds of 300 km/h, torrential rains, massive destruction. But in the exact geometric center of the hurricane, there exists a zone called the eye. In the eye, the wind is zero, the sky is blue, and the sun shines. In the eye, there is a deathly silence. The birds fly calmly. The fascinating thing is that the eye is not separate from the hurricane, it is part of it. It is surrounded by walls of black clouds spinning violently, but the eye does not spin. The eye is the axis. You have become the axis of your own life. Before, you were part of the external winds. You were a leaf flying in the periphery, hit by circumstances, spinning out of control. If the economy went bad, you went bad. Now, through your inner work, you have centered yourself. You have traveled inward, you have reached the eye. This peace you feel is not passivity. It is dynamic stability. It is the ability to sustain a high frequency, sun and calm, while the environment sustains a low frequency, wind and chaos. The universe is giving you this gift of peace because it knows that if you panicked now, you would collapse the manifestation that is about to arrive. Fear contracts, peace expands. To receive the miracle you asked for, the money, the cure, the love, you need to be expanded. If you were frightened by the chaos of controlled demolition, signal 3, you would close your receptive channels. Therefore, your soul has injected you with a massive dose of divine anesthesia to cross the bridge of fire without burning. Dissociation versus the peace of the spirit, the test of truth. It is vital that you learn to distinguish between this supernatural peace and simple traumatic dissociation or denial, because the ego will try to convince you that you are only evading reality. The denial dissociation, fear in disguise. When someone is in denial, they look calm on the outside, but inside there is a dull tension. They feel a constant knot in the stomach. They avoid looking at bills because, if they do, they feel they will explode. They distract themselves compulsively to not think. Their peace is fragile. The peace of the eye of the hurricane, signal 6. This peace is light. It is luminous. You don't have a knot in your stomach. You have an open and relaxed solar plexus. You can look the problem in the face. You can open the bank letter and feel nothing but neutral curiosity. Wow, it's a big number. It will be solved. You don't distract yourself to flee. You simply live your normal life because the problem doesn't seem that important. You have moments of spontaneous joy without reason. You laugh. You enjoy food. You feel a deep, almost arrogant certainty that everything is fine. If you feel this second option, don't let anyone call you crazy. You are experiencing the certainty of knowledge. In the depths of your subconscious, your Leviathan, the order of success has already been accepted. Your subconscious has already seen the future. It already knows that you emerge victorious. And since your deep part knows you win the war, it sees no need to worry about a small battle. It is like watching a suspense movie for the second time. The first time, when the hero is hanging from the cliff, you are terrified. The second time, you are calm eating popcorn because you already know he is saved. Your supernatural peace is the proof that your soul has already seen the end of the movie. And the end is happy. The conflict with the normals and social guilt. Here comes the difficult part of this signal. The outside world is not prepared for your peace. We live in a society addicted to worry. We have been taught that worrying is synonymous with being responsible. If your mother gets sick and you are not crying and distressed, society says you are a bad son. If you lose your job and are not frantic sending resumes at 3 in the morning, they tell you that you are lazy. Worry has become a moral currency. When you exhibit the peace of the eye of the hurricane, the people around you, who continue vibrating in fear, feel offended. They will ask if you are aware of the gravity of the situation. They get angry because your peace is an insult to their fear. Your calm makes them feel that their panic is unnecessary, and the ego hates feeling unnecessary. Additionally, there is a phenomenon of mirror neurons. Humans are programmed to imitate the emotions of the tribe. If the tribe runs scared, you should run scared. What to do before this social pressure to panic? You have to practice the art of strategic silence. Do not try to explain your peace to them. Do not tell them, "I am calm because the universe backs me up." They will look at you as if you were in a cult and worry more. For the outside world, simulate a functional worry. Say, "Yes, it is a difficult situation. I am taking care of it. Thanks for worrying." And change the subject. Protect your peace as if it were a diamond in a dangerous neighborhood. Do not take it out for a walk. Hide it in your chest. Your peace is your manifestation fuel. If you let others infect you, you will sink with them. Remember, a captain does not scream when there is a storm. A captain stays quiet, looks at the compass, and gives soft orders. Be the captain. Let the passengers scream. The paradox of the solution. Why calm attracts rescue. There is a physical and mechanical reason why the universe induces you into this state of peace right before the solution. It is called the law of zero resistance. Imagine you are trapped in quicksand. Your instinct is to struggle. But the physics of quicksand dictates that the more you struggle, the faster you sink. The only way to get out of quicksand is to stay absolutely still, relax, lie back, and let the physics of buoyancy pull you out slowly. Your current problems are quicksand. Worry, fear, and desperate action are the struggle. The peace of the eye of the hurricane is the act of lying back. You stop feeding the monster. At the same time, by being calm, your brain moves from beta waves, stress, survival, to alpha waves, creativity, reception. It is in the alpha state where you receive genius ideas. It is in the calm where you hear the phone ring. It is in the peace where you see the exit door that panic hid from you. The universe keeps you calm because it needs you to be receptive to receive the coordinates of the rescue. If you were screaming, you wouldn't hear the whisper of intuition telling you, "Turn left, there is the solution." Your peace is not inaction. It is preparation for inspired action. Visceral faith, knowing without proof. Finally, this signal marks the transition from intellectual faith to visceral faith. At the beginning of your spiritual path, you had intellectual faith. You read books and said, "Yes, I understand the theory." But it was a belief in the head. Faced with the first real problem, that faith crumbled. Signal number 6 is the embodiment of faith. You no longer believe that everything is going to turn out well. Now you know that everything is going to turn out well. It is a knowing that is felt in the gut, in the bones. It is a rocky solidity. It is the same feeling you have when you order online from a trusted store. You click buy. You get the confirmation email. You don't have the package yet. You don't see it. You don't touch it. But you are not worried. You don't doubt. You don't call the store every 5 minutes screaming. You simply go on with your life, knowing the logistics are in motion and the package will arrive. You have made an order to the universe. The supernatural peace you feel is the confirmation email. Your soul has received the notification. Your order has been processed and is on its way. This irrational certainty is the most potent manifestation tool. It shows your loyalty to invisible reality is absolute. What to do when peace wavers? Although you are in the eye, sometimes a gust of strong wind will get in. You will have moments of doubt. Step 1. Remember where you are. Say aloud, I am in the eye. Chaos is outside, not inside. I am the axis. Visualize yourself surrounded by an impenetrable cylinder of light. Step 2. Do the now test. Fear always lives in the imaginary future. Bring your mind to the exact present second. Ask yourself, in this precise instant, in this microsecond, am I okay? Am I breathing? Do I have ground under my feet? Am I safe? The answer is always yes. The problem is a mental projection, Step 3. Hand the problem to the manager. Imagine that you are an employee and the universe is the general manager of your life. When a problem arises that exceeds you, visualize putting it in a box, walking to the manager's office and leaving it on his desk. Say, this is too big for me, it's your turn to solve it. Feel the physical relief of letting go of the responsibility of the how. Your job is the what, the desire, and the state, the peace. The how, the solution, is the manager's problem. If you are walking through the valley of the shadow of death and have no fear, congratulations, you are a master in training. You have demonstrated that your internal world is more real than your external world. That illogical peace is the perfume of victory before the battle. It is the calm that precedes, not the storm, but the dawn. Enjoy your calm. Use it to rest. Use it to visualize. Let the others run and scream. You stay still. It is in that stillness where God is going to hand you the keys to your new kingdom. The hurricane will pass. The rubble will be cleared. And you will still be there, standing, ready to inhabit the promised land. The universe knows you are ready because you are no longer afraid of the dark. Chapter 7. Irrational Certainty. The it is done feeling that defies all logic and stops the search. If you have reached this point, you have gone through the fire. You have survived the void, the physical purge, the demolition of your life, the crazy synchronicities, the social disconnection, and you have found peace in the eye of the hurricane. But signal number 7 is the leap of faith. It is the moment when your consciousness crosses the invisible line that separates the dreamer from the owner. It is very likely that, in the midst of this entire process, something strange has happened inside you regarding your great desire. For months or years, you have been obsessed with that desire. You visualized it every night. You made affirmations in front of the mirror. You wrote in your journal. You asked the universe for signs. You felt an urgency, a hunger, a pressing need for it to happen. But suddenly, the urgency has disappeared. You wake up one day and realize that you no longer feel the need to visualize. You no longer feel the need to ask. You no longer feel the anxiety of when will it arrive. You look at your physical reality and see that you still don't have the money, the partner, or the house. Your physical eyes tell you that it's not there, but your interior tells you with a calm, solid, and absolutely immovable voice, it is mine. It is a disconcerting feeling at first. Your logical mind, the ego, panics and tells you, hey, why have you stopped asking? If you stop, the universe will forget. The ego screams, you have to keep insisting. Look at your bank account, it's still empty, don't relax. But you cannot return to the anxiety of before. It is physically impossible. You feel a kind of divine arrogance. You feel the same as when you have the keys to your house in your pocket. You don't need to think about your house, nor ask for your house, nor visualize your house. You know it is yours. You know where it is. You know that you can enter whenever you want. It is a fact. It is a piece of data. It is not a hope. This irrational certainty is signal number 7, that the universe has accepted your request. It is the sign that gestation has ended and birth is inevitable. You have reached what the great masters call the state of the wish fulfilled, or the Sabbath. You have stopped wanting in order to start having. Let us analyze the quantum and psychological mechanics of this certainty. Understanding this will prevent you from falling into the trap of doubting again just when you are about to receive the package. The physics of the cosmic Amazon, purchase confirmation. The best analogy to understand this signal is the experience of shopping online. Imagine you go onto Amazon. You look for the product you want. You add it to the cart. You enter your data. You click Buy. At that precise instant, two things happen. Your money leaves your account. You receive an email that says, "Order confirmed, it will arrive on Tuesday." Now then, ask yourself, do you have the product in your hands at that second? No. Physically, the product is still in a warehouse 500 kilometers away. However, do you worry? Do you doubt? Do you keep looking for the product in other stores? No, you close the browser tab. You go do something else. You forget about the subject. Why? Because you have the irrational certainty that the product is already yours. The confirmation email is enough proof for you. You don't need to see the delivery truck to know it's coming. If someone asks you, "Did you buy the book?" you say, "Yes, I have it." You don't say, "I hope to have it." You say, "I have it," even though your hands are empty. Signal 7 is the universe's confirmation email. That feeling of peace, of it's done, of it is finished, is the digital receipt your soul has received. It means that the energetic transaction has been completed. You have paid the price with your faith, your cleansing, and your vibration, and the universe has processed the order. The problem is that in real life, unlike Amazon, there is no guaranteed Tuesday on the calendar. The delivery time is variable, and this is where people fail. By not seeing the package in 3 days, they start to doubt. They start to cancel the energetic order. They go back into the store, the desire, and ask for it again, generating duplicity and confusion. If you feel irrational certainty, your only job is to wait for the logistics. Do not ask again. Do not doubt again. Act like someone waiting for an Amazon package. Prepare the space on the shelf. Make sure you are home. But do not call the warehouse screaming. That only delays the driver. Irrational certainty is the proof that the package has left the invisible warehouse and is crossing the bridge of incidents toward your door. The silence of visualization. Why you stop doing techniques. This is one of the most surprising characteristics of Signal 7. During your training phase, you were obsessed with techniques, visualization, affirmations, scripting, vision boards. They were your crutches. You needed them to convince your subconscious. But when irrational certainty arrives, suddenly, you feel lazy about the techniques. You try to visualize your desire at night and your mind gets bored. It gets distracted. It tells you, "Bah, I already know." How boring to imagine the same thing again. Many get scared here. They think, "I'm losing discipline. I'm letting my guard down." No, you are graduated. No one keeps studying for the exam after having passed the exam. No one keeps visualizing that they have a nose. You know you have a nose. Visualization is a tool to create the feeling of possession. Once the feeling of possession is real and solid, the tool is no longer necessary. In fact, continuing to visualize compulsively when you already have the certainty can be counterproductive. It can indicate a hidden doubt. If I don't visualize it today, it will go away. That is fear. And fear cancels the manifestation. If you feel that you no longer want to do techniques, don't do them. It is the universe telling you, rest. The work is done, the seed is planted. If you keep digging up the earth to see the seed, you are going to kill it. Let it grow in the dark. Enter the state of Sabbath, rest, enjoy your life. Devote yourself to other hobbies. The absence of effort is the maximum demonstration of faith. Only someone who knows they are rich allows themselves the luxury of not worrying about money. Only someone who knows they are loved allows themselves the luxury of not desperately seeking love. Your boredom with the techniques is your title deed. Madness before the mirror, the illusion of the senses. This is where irrational certainty becomes a social and psychological challenge. Your 3D reality, the physical world, usually lags behind your 4D reality, the energetic world. You may have the irrational certainty that you are a millionaire, but your bank account shows $100. You may have the irrational certainty that you are healthy, but the medical diagnosis is still there. This creates cognitive dissonance. Your eyes see scarcity. Your heart feels abundance. Whom do you believe? Most people believe their eyes, and that is why they fail. They say, well, I felt it was mine, but reality says no, so I must be crazy. The master of manifestation does the opposite. He tells his eyes, you lie. What you see is the past. It is a dead star. My heart sees the future, which is already present. Maintaining this certainty when the world shows you the opposite requires a degree of controlled madness. You have to dare to be irrational. Reason, logic, is based on past data. Intuition, certainty, is based on future data. If you want to create something new, you have to be irrational, because the new has no logic yet. All the great inventors, leaders, and millionaires were called crazy or delusional before materializing their visions. They had a certainty that no one else could see. Steve Jobs had the certainty of the iPhone before the technology existed. Walt Disney had the certainty of Disneyland before there was a single brick. You have the certainty of your new life. Do not let current data steal your vision. Current data is temporary. It is quicksand. Your certainty is cement. If you keep the cement firm, physical reality will have no choice but to solidify around your belief. It is the law of the observer. The particle collapses where the observer places their unshakable expectation. If you expect success with absolute certainty, the atoms of your life will reorganize to give it to you. They have no choice. The bridge of incidents, the logistics of God. Once you have irrational certainty, you begin to walk through what Neville Goddard called the bridge of incidents. This is the series of events, coincidences, and chance encounters that will lead you from where you are, point A, to where your desire is, point B. The curious thing about irrational certainty is that it allows you to walk this bridge without judging the path. Sometimes, the bridge seems to go in the opposite direction. For example, you have the certainty that you are going to get the job of your dreams in a great company, and suddenly your car breaks down and you cannot go to the interview. If you didn't have certainty, you would cry and say, I've lost my opportunity, the universe hates me. But because you have irrational certainty, you smile and say, how interesting. If my car broke down, it means that interview was not the path. The universe is diverting me so that I don't waste my time, because something better is coming. And indeed, 2 days later, you meet someone at the mechanic's shop who offers you an even better position with more pay and fewer hours. Certainty gives you immunity to judgment. You stop labeling things as good or bad. You label everything as necessary. Everything is part of the bridge. If you stumble, it is part of the bridge. If you get lost, it is part of the bridge. If someone says no to you, it is part of the bridge. You walk with the quiet arrogance of someone who knows the destination is inevitable, so the path is irrelevant. This attitude relaxes your body, eliminates stress, and, paradoxically, makes you arrive much faster. The shortest path between 2 points is not a straight line, it is the line of least resistance. And certainty is zero resistance. The as-if test, acting without faking. There is a subtle but vital difference between fake it till you make it and irrational certainty. Faking is an act of the ego. It is exhausting. You put on a mask of being rich or happy, but inside you are terrified. You vibrate in disguised fear. Irrational certainty is an act of the being. It is relaxing. You don't fake. You are. How do you know if you are in certainty or just faking? Do the relief test. If thinking about your desire gives you anxiety, you are faking. If thinking about your desire gives you relief, peace, and a silly smile, you are in certainty. When you are in certainty, your actions change naturally without effort. You start to make decisions from the identity of the person who already has the desire. If you have the certainty that the money is coming, perhaps you buy those shoes you liked without guilt, not out of irresponsibility, but because you know there is more on the way. If you have the certainty that your health is improving, perhaps you throw away the old medicines you no longer need, always with medical responsibility. Or you start planning a hiking trip for next month because you assume you will be fine. If you have the certainty of love, you stop searching obsessively on dating apps. You relax, you groom yourself for yourself, you make space in your closet. These actions are not strategies to deceive the universe. They are natural consequences of your internal state. You act this way because you cannot help it. It is like when you are in love. You smile without wanting to, you sing in the rain, you don't plan it, it just comes out. Irrational certainty makes you act like a winner before winning. And the world, seeing your body language, your tone of voice, and your winner's energy, steps aside to let you pass and hands you the prizes. People smell certainty. Investors smell certainty. Potential partners smell certainty. It is the most attractive pheromone in the universe. What to do if you lose certainty? Irrational certainty is a state, and like every state, it sometimes fluctuates. You might have 3 days of absolute certainty, and suddenly you see a piece of news or have an argument, and you fall into doubt. Your mind starts to ask, what if I'm making it up? What if I'm crazy? When this happens, do not punish yourself. It is normal. You are human. Your old neural wiring is trying to return. To recover certainty, use the technique of remembering the future. Sit in silence. Close your eyes. Return to the moment when you felt the certainty for the first time, that moment of internal click. Do not try to visualize the desire again. Visualize the feeling of knowing it. Tell yourself, I already saw the end. I already read the confirmation email. Nothing that happens now changes that fact. The doubt is just a cloud passing in front of the sun. The sun is still there. Breathe. Remember the other signals you have lived, the solitude, the synchronicities. Use them as evidence. Tell your ego, look at all the signals, it is not a coincidence, we are on the path. And get back on the horse. Certainty is a muscle. The more you use it, the faster it recovers. Chapter 8. The Final Exam. The reappearance of old exes, old fears, or old vices to test if you have truly changed. If you have made it this far, your transformation is undeniable. You have crossed the desert of loneliness, signal 1, purged your body, signal 2, seen your old life crumble, signal 3, navigated magical synchronicities, signal 4, lost interest in drama, signal 5, found peace in the storm, signal 6, and reached certainty, signal 7. You feel strong. You feel new. You feel invincible. You believe the worst is over. You believe the path to your promised land is clear, and all that remains is to walk the red carpet toward your throne. But the universe, in its infinite wisdom and rigor, has one last mandatory stop before handing you the keys to the kingdom. There is an unwritten rule in the mechanics of spiritual ascension. No one graduates without a final exam. Just when you feel most secure, just when you vibrate at your highest, something disconcerting happens. The past, that which you thought dead and buried, knocks at your door, and it doesn't knock softly, it knocks with terrifying power. Suddenly that toxic ex who made your life impossible, and from whom it took you years to recover, sends you a message at 2 in the morning saying, I miss you. I've changed. Suddenly, that company that exploited you calls offering your old position with a small raise, right when you are about to launch your dream business. Suddenly that vice, cigarettes, alcohol, junk food, laziness, that you had overcome with so much effort, assaults you with a physical craving so violent it makes your knees tremble. Your mind becomes confused. Your spiritual ego, still immature, may erroneously interpret this as a signal from the universe. You might think, oh, my ex is back. Maybe it's destiny. Maybe it's a sign we should be together. You might think they are offering me my secure job. Maybe the universe is telling me not to risk it with my business. Stop. It is not a directional signal. It is a negative confirmation signal. It is a quality test. It is the universe asking you with a challenging smile, you say you've changed. You say you are new. You say you love yourself. Is it true? Or is it just theory? Prove it to me. Here is your old life on a silver platter. Do you take it or leave it? This is signal number 8. It is the moment of the guardian of the threshold. If you pass this test, if you have the strength to say no to the known and sí to the unknown, the door to your manifestation will swing wide open and abundance will enter like an overflowing river. But if you fail, if you yield to the temptation of the familiar, you will return to the starting square condemned to repeat the cycle. Let's analyze the traps of this exam so you can detect them and pass with honors. The zombie corpse phenomenon. Why exes return. Let's talk about relationships, because that is where this exam is most cruel and frequent. You have asked for a divine love, a conscious, loyal partner who values you. You have worked on your self-esteem. You have visualized yourself happy. You have released the rancor toward your narcissistic or toxic ex. You feel good alone. You are radiant. And exactly at that moment, the zombie appears. Your ex reappears. Why? Is it black magic? Is it telepathy? It is string physics. When you have an intense relationship with someone, energetic cords are created between your chakras. Those invisible threads continue to transmit information. While you were sad, crying, and missing them, you were sending them energy. He or she felt fed, validated, and comfortable, so they didn't need to look for you. They had your free energy at a distance. But now you have cut the supply. You have empowered yourself. You have reclaimed your energy for yourself. You have reached the irrational certainty, signal 7, that you deserve something better. The zombie, at an energetic level, feels the food has been cut off. They feel a void. They feel they are truly losing you, and their ego reacts with panic. They are getting away. I have to get them back. So they write to you. They call you. They show up at your door with flowers and promises. It seems romantic. It seems like a movie. Your ego tells you, I manifested it. They came back changed. No, my friend. You have not manifested your ex changed. You have manifested your own self-esteem test. The universe is putting the ghost of Christmas past in front of you to see if you are capable of closing the door. If you go back to them, you are telling the universe, actually, I don't believe I deserve the divine love I asked for. I'll settle for these familiar crumbs. And by doing so, you collapse the timeline of your soulmate. The new person who was about to arrive stops because the space has once again been occupied by the old tenant. The final exam requires you to look at that person, feel the tug of nostalgia, feel the comfort of the known, and still, with fire in your heart, say, thank you for coming back, but you no longer vibrate with me. I thank you for the lessons, but my future has no space for my past. Goodbye. That definitive goodbye is the most powerful magical act that exists. The moment you close that door, the universe knows you are serious. It knows your transformation is real. The golden security trap, financial sabotage. This exam also presents itself in the area of money and career. Suppose you have decided to be an entrepreneur. You have launched your project. You have faith. But the results haven't arrived yet. You are on the bridge of incidents. Money is scarce. You are afraid, but you maintain certainty, signal 7. And suddenly you receive a job offer. It is not your dream job. It is the type of job you swore never to do again. A grey 9-to-5 job with an authoritarian boss, but with a secure and high salary. It is the golden cage. The universe is tempting you. It is saying, here is immediate security. You only have to sell your soul and your dream in exchange for this check. What do you choose? Mediocre security or risky freedom? Many fall here. They say, well, I'll take it just for a while to save up. And that while becomes 10 years. The dream dies, the soul withers. The financial final exam asks you to trust your vision when hunger pinches. It asks you to reject the good to make room for the great. If you say no to the mediocre offer because you trust in your empire, you are emitting a signal of radical faith. You are burning the ships. And when you burn the ships, the universe has no choice but to help you conquer the island. Often days after rejecting the secure offer, the big client or the great opportunity you were waiting for appears for your business. The big client was waiting to see if you had the guts to reject the small. The psychology of the extinction burst, the ego's tantrum. There is a scientific explanation for this phenomenon, known in behavioral psychology as the extinction burst. When you try to eliminate a behavior or an old neural network, for example, quitting smoking or stopping thinking like a poor person, the brain resists. Just before the habit disappears forever, the brain launches one last desperate attack to keep it alive. It is like the final tantrum of a child before falling asleep. They scream louder than ever just before falling over. Your old identity, the poor you, the sad you, the victim you, is dying. It realizes you are starving it with your new vibration. So as a final act of survival, It projects a massive temptation into your reality. It projects a paralyzing fear. It projects an existential doubt. It projects an uncontrollable desire to return to the vice. If you feel your old demons are screaming louder than ever, be glad. It means they are dying. It is their swan song. It is the extinction burst. If you hold on a little longer, if you don't give in to this last tantrum, the old identity will collapse and disappear forever. But you have to withstand the scream. The guardian of the threshold, the mythic archetype. In all mythological stories, in Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, there is the figure of the guardian of the threshold. The hero leaves home, has adventures, gets the elixir, and when they are about to return or enter the final temple, they meet a horrible monster at the door. The monster is not there to kill them. The monster is there to ask, "Are you worthy?" Your final exam is that monster. Your accumulated debts are the monster. Your ex-partner is the monster. Your fear is the monster. They are blocking the entrance to the new life, to see if you have the authority to push them aside. Do not fight the guardian. Do not get angry with your ex for returning. Do not get angry at the mediocre job offer. Look them in the eyes, recognize their function, smile at them and say, "You have permission to withdraw. I no longer need you. I am worthy. I step forward." Authority is the key. Do not ask for permission to pass. Assume your right to pass. The guardian only moves for royalty. If you behave like a hesitant beggar, the guardian will devour you. If you behave like a king/queen, the guardian will bow. The difference between a no signal and an exam. This is where many people get confused. How do I know if this difficulty is the universe telling me not that way, red light, or if it is a final exam I must overcome? How do I know if my ex's return is a sign we should be together, or a test for me to reject them? The key is in vibration and expansion. Case A. It is a not that way signal. Redirection. If the situation feels heavy, draining, and makes you feel small, it is a red light. If going back to your ex gives you a feeling of secure comfort, but makes you feel like you are betraying yourself, it is a trap. If the job gives you money but turns off your soul, it is a trap. Case B. It is a final exam. If the situation scares you, but beneath the fear you feel expansion, if saying no to your ex hurts your ego but makes you feel proud and free in your soul, it is an exam you just passed. If rejecting the secure job gives you vertigo but makes you feel alive and coherent with your dream, it is an exam you passed. The exam always asks you to choose the option that requires more self-esteem. The trap always offers you the option that requires less self-esteem, the comfortable, the easy, the known. Always choose the option that makes you feel bigger, even if it is the hardest in the short term. The post-exam void effect, instant calm. What happens when you pass the final exam? What happens the minute after blocking your ex definitively? What happens the minute after rejecting the mediocre job offer? Something magical happens. Suddenly the storm ceases. The mental noise shuts off. You feel a peace even deeper than in Signal 6. You feel a sacred silence. It is the sound of the universe validating your new level. You have moved up a grade. Your aura changes color. Your frequency rises an octave. You have become a vibratory equal of your desire. And in that post-exam void is where the materialization occurs. Often the miracle arrives hours or days after passing the test. It is mathematical. The space occupied by your doubt has been freed. Now that space is available for your soulmate. The space occupied by your fear of poverty has been freed for real wealth. Final exam survival guide. If you feel you are living this right now, here is your emergency protocol. Step 1. Identify the test. Do not react on autopilot. Stop. Look at the temptation and give it a name. Say out loud, "Aha! This is not an opportunity. This is the final exam. The universe is testing my determination. I've caught you." Just by naming it, you take away 50% of its seductive power. Step 2. Connect with your future self. Close your eyes. Visualize the version of you that already has the success, the partner, and the happiness. Ask that future self, would you go back to this ex? Would you accept this job out of fear? The answer will be a resounding and laughing no. Act as your future self would act. Step 3. Be radical. Do not leave doors ajar. Do not tell your ex, well, maybe in the future. Block. Close. Do not tell the mediocre job, let me think about it just in case. Say no. Lukewarmness is the enemy of manifestation. The universe rewards the brave, not the just in cases. Cut the red wire without fear. Step 4. Celebrate the temptation. Instead of getting overwhelmed, why is this happening to me? Celebrate it. Say, if the universe is sending me the final exam, it means I'm about to graduate. It means my desire is behind this door. What great news! Change fear for the emotion of imminent victory. Chapter 9. Divine Indifference. The moment when you stop chasing your desire because you no longer need it to be happy. You have traveled an epic path. You have passed through the desert of loneliness, the purge of the body, the collapse of structures, the magic of signals, the death of drama, the peace in the storm, irrational certainty, and the final exam of the past. You have done all the work. You have visualized to the point of exhaustion. You have healed your traumas. You have raised your vibration. And yet, the physical, tangible desire is still not in your hand. Then, one day, perhaps today, perhaps tomorrow, something happens that seems like an absolute contradiction. Something that challenges everything you have been taught about perseverance and fighting for your dreams. You wake up in the morning, think about that desire that has been the center of your universe for years, that money, that partner, that success, and you shrug your shoulders. You sigh with a light smile and say to yourself, you know what, if it comes, great, and if it doesn't come, I'm also fine. I'm happy anyway. And you mean it. It is not a manipulative tactic to trick the universe. It is not the resignation of a loser. Well, I'll never get it, so I better forget it. It is a genuine liberation. You feel a heavy chain that you carried on your chest break. You feel that you have recovered your life. Suddenly, the desire is no longer your master. It is only a preference. It is no longer your oxygen. It is only the dessert. And here comes the great cosmic joke. The irony that has made mystics laugh for millennia. At the precise instant you stop needing it desperately, the universe delivers it to you on a silver platter. 5 minutes after you truly let go of the attachment, the phone rings with the offer. 2 days after you decide to be happy single, you meet the love of your life in the supermarket line. A week after you stop obsessing over money and focus on enjoying your coffee, an unexpected check arrives. Your ego screams furiously, "Seriously? I've been suffering for years for this, and you give it to me now that I don't care so much?" And the universe, with a mischievous wink, answers you, "Exactly, I couldn't give it to you before because your need occupied all the space. Now that you have removed yourself from the middle, I have been able to enter." This is signal number 9. It is the state of divine indifference. It is the final test of spiritual mastery. It means that you have stopped being a slave to your desire to become the master of your reality. Let's analyze the hidden physics behind this paradox, because understanding it is the only way to stop blocking what you ask for so much. The law of reversed effort, why chasing is repelling. There is a universal law, popularized by philosophers like Alan Watts and Aldous Huxley, called the law of reversed effort. This law establishes that, in the realm of the mind and the spirit, the more you consciously strive to achieve something, the further you move away from it. It is like quicksand. The more you struggle, the more you sink. It is like trying to fall asleep. The more you order yourself, "Fall asleep now," the more awake you are. Sleep only arrives when you stop trying to fall asleep. It is like trying to remember a forgotten name. The more you strain, the more it gets blocked. As soon as you relax and think about something else, the name appears. Oh, it was Garcia. With manifestation, exactly the same thing happens. When you need something with desperation, you are emitting a very specific and powerful vibration. What is that vibration? Lack. Needing is synonymous with not having. No one needs what they already have. You don't need air right now. You have it, you breathe it, you take it for granted. But if I submerged your head under water, then you would need air desperately. When you wake up every day shouting to the universe, "I need money, I need love," what the quantum field hears is, "I am someone who does not have money. I am someone who does not have love." And since the universe is a faithful mirror that always agrees with you, it reflects more not having situations to you to validate your identity. Divine indifference breaks this cursed loop. When you enter the state of, I don't care, I'm happy anyway, your vibration changes radically. You pass from the frequency of need, lack, to the frequency of sufficiency, abundance. You are telling the universe, I am already full, I am already complete, I lack nothing. And faced with that declaration of fullness, the universe, the mirror, has no choice but to reflect more fullness to you in the form of physical manifestations. It is the bank paradox. Banks only lend money to those who show they don't need it. If you go to the bank desperate, they close the door. If you go to the bank with solvency, they offer you credits you didn't ask for. The universe is the ultimate banker. Signal 9 is the moment when you become spiritually solvent. The phenomenon of the fallen idol, taking the desire off the pedestal. Another reason why divine indifference activates instant manifestation is because it corrects a fatal error of perspective that 99% of people make: idolatry. Without realizing it, you have put your desire on a pedestal. You have turned that job, that person, or that money into a small god. You look up at it. You feel small before it. You think, that person is too good for me. That amount of money is immense. That success is difficult to reach. By deifying your desire, you create a vibratory distance. You create a hierarchical separation. The desire is above, it is valuable. You are below, you are unworthy. In the world of energy, things only attract between equals. Like attracts like. If you see your desire as something superior or distant, it can never approach you, because by definition, you have placed it out of reach. Divine indifference is the act of kicking the pedestal. It is the moment when you look at that desire that intimidated you so much and you say, bah, actually it's not such a big deal. It's just money. It's paper. It's just a person. They poop and eat just like me. It's just a job. There are thousands. You take away the excessive importance. You normalize it. You bring it down to your level. At the moment you lose the fearful respect for your desire, at the moment you become indifferent to its greatness, you make it accessible. You put yourself at its level. And since you are already at its vibratory level, natural magnetism can act and unite you. It is the classic phenomenon of the bad boy or the unreachable girl in dating. The one who is desperate and puts the other on a pedestal is rejected because their energy is heavy, overwhelming. The one who is indifferent and treats the other as a normal equal is magnetic because their energy is light, challenging, attractive. Be the bad boy with your desire. Stop flattering it. Stop praying to it. Treat it with a flirtatious indifference. If you want to come, come. If not, I have better things to do. That attitude drives the universe crazy. The universe cannot resist sovereignty. The difference between resignation and surrender, the vital nuance. It is crucial that you do not confuse divine indifference with the resignation of the depressed, because they vibrate at opposite ends of the spectrum. Resignation, low vibration. It feels heavy. It feels sad. It is a defeat. You say, I don't care, with slumped shoulders, with bitterness, with cynicism. Deep down you still desire it painfully, but you have decided to lie to yourself so as not to suffer more disappointments. You have surrendered from weakness. The message to the universe is, I am a failure. I have thrown in the towel. Result, you don't manifest anything. You stay in the pit. Divine indifference, high surrender, high vibration. It feels light. It feels expansive. It is a victory. You say, I don't care, with a smile, with relaxed shoulders, breathing deeply. You have let go of the attachment, not the desire. You still prefer to have it, but your happiness no longer depends on it. You have surrendered from strength and confidence. The message to the universe is, I am happy now. My life is already good. I trust that if it has to be, it will be, and if not, something better will come. Result, you manifest miracles quickly. How to know which one you are in? Do the joy test. If thinking about not having it sinks you into misery, you are in resignation or attachment. If thinking about not having it leaves you calm and you're able to enjoy an ice cream, a movie, or a chat with friends at this precise instant, you are in divine indifference. Signal 9 is a sensation of deep relief. It is like when you finish a difficult exam and hand in the sheet. You can no longer do anything else. What you wrote is written. You leave the classroom and feel that the air is fresher. You go to have a beer with friends. You are no longer studying. You are no longer worried. You are living. That post-exam relief is the exact frequency of materialization. The destruction of the linear timeline. When you reach divine indifference, you break the illusion of time. While you were desperate, you lived in the future. I will be happy when this arrives. By living in the future, you despise the present. And since the present is the only place where life exists, you were technically dead while alive. Indifference brings you suddenly to the now. By saying I am happy without the desire, you start to look for reasons to be happy today. You start to notice that the coffee is tasty, that the bed is soft, that you have health, that the sun shines. You start to inhabit your current life. And here is the quantum secret. Creative energy only exists in the now. By returning to the present, you plug in the socket. Your light bulb turns on. Your aura shines. You become attractive. Literally, you attract. The desire, which lives in the future, sees that you are enjoying the present so much that it feels obliged. It travels back in time to join your party. It seems poetic, but it is mechanical. Fullness attracts fullness. Emptiness attracts emptiness. If you fill your now with fullness, even with small things, the universe has to fill your now with big things to maintain coherence. The mosquito repellent effect. Stop suffocating the universe. Imagine that your desire is a butterfly. For years you have been running after the butterfly with a giant net, sweating, shouting, swatting at the air. The butterfly, by survival instinct, flees from you. Your energy is aggressive, chaotic, invasive. The wind you generate by running pushes it away. Signal 9 is the moment when you get tired of running. You stop. You throw the net on the ground, you sit on the grass, you breathe, you take a fruit from your backpack, and you start to eat, enjoying the landscape, forgetting about the butterfly. You stay still, emanating peace, the smell of fruit and calm. And what does the butterfly do? By not feeling a threat, by not feeling the wind of your pursuit, it turns around. It feels attracted by your calm. And softly, it perches on your shoulder. You have been suffocating your desire. You have been strangling it with your doubts, with your constant checks. With your micromanagement of the how and the when. The universe could not work because you were in the middle, hindering with your anxiety. Divine indifference is the act of removing yourself from the middle. It is to stop breathing down God's neck. It is giving space to the universe to organize the logistics. When you let go of control, the universe takes control. And the universe is a much better driver, lover, and banker than you. Practical guide to induce divine indifference. Perhaps you tell me, I understand the theory, but how do I stop needing something I need? How do I feel indifference for money if I have debts? Here are 3 techniques to hack your mind and activate Signal 9 artificially. Technique 1. The worst-case scenario plan, radical acceptance. The fear of not having your desire is what keeps you in attachment. Look that fear in the face. Ask yourself, what is the worst that can happen if my desire never comes true? Visualize it. Okay, if I never become a millionaire, I will have to live in a small flat, work in something normal, eat simply. And then ask yourself, could I survive that? Could I find moments of joy even there? The answer is yes. You could read books. You could laugh with friends. You could see sunsets. You could love. You would still be alive. In the moment you accept that you could be happy even in the worst scenario, the fear disappears. The desire stops being a matter of life or death. It becomes a game. And when it becomes a game, you win. Technique 2. Happiness diversification. Do not put all your eggs in the basket of your manifestation. If your only source of joy is waiting for the thing to arrive, you are screwed. Look for other sources of dopamine now. Sign up for dancing, learn to paint, go out for a run, play video games, adopt a dog. Fill your life with so many exciting things that sometimes you forget that you are manifesting something. When you are busy having a good time, you are in the perfect vibration. The universe loves people who have fun. Technique 3. Gratitude for the unmanifested. This is advanced. Give thanks that your desire has not arrived yet. Say, Thank you, universe, because if you had given me the money 3 years ago when I was immature, I would have lost it all. Thank you for the delay. Thank you for the training time. Thank you for letting me enjoy this stage of my life before everything changes. By thanking the absence, you eliminate the resistance towards it. You make peace with the no. And since there is no resistance, the yes comes shooting in. Chapter 10. Causeless Gratitude. Feeling the urge to cry with thankfulness without anything special having happened yet, the biological signature that the future is already here. You have traveled the hero's path. You have crossed the solitude of the desert, purged the poison from your body, watched the towers of your old life fall, deciphered numerical codes, abandoned drama, found calm in the storm, embraced irrational certainty, defeated the temptation of the past, and released need with divine indifference. You might think that everything is already done. You might think there is nothing left but to wait. But the universe, in its infinite generosity, has saved the most beautiful gift for the last. Before your desire materializes in the physical 3D world, the universe sends a delivery notification directly to your heart. This is signal number 10, and it is without a doubt the most moving, transformative, and mystical experience a human being can live. It is the moment when gratitude hits you for no reason. It is very likely that, in the last few days, something has occurred that has left you feeling displaced. You are driving to work on any given Tuesday, along the same grey road as always. Nothing extraordinary has happened. You haven't won the lottery. The love of your life hasn't called you. But suddenly, a song plays on the radio, or you see how the sunlight hits the leaves of a tree, or you simply take a deep breath, and you burst into tears. It is not a cry of sadness. It is not a cry of pain or despair. It is a cry of ecstasy. You feel a wave of heat rising from your stomach and exploding in your chest. You feel your heart physically opening, as if an iron breastplate you had been wearing for years were breaking. You feel an immense, pure, and overwhelming love for life. You find yourself saying out loud between tears and laughter, thank you, my God, thank you. How beautiful life is, how lucky I am. And then you stop, dry your tears, and your logical mind asks you, but why are you giving thanks? You still have debts, you are still single, you still have the problem, what are you laughing at? But you can no longer stop smiling. Logic has lost the battle against chemistry. Your body is celebrating a victory that your eyes still cannot see. This is the definitive signal. It is the biological signature of the future. It means that your body has finally been convinced that the desire has already occurred. And when the body is convinced, physical reality has not a single chance of resisting. The collapse of the wave function is absolute. Let us analyze the deep science and spirituality behind this signal, because understanding it is the master key to staying in paradise before you even arrive there. The reversal of the cause-effect model, hacking reality. To understand the magnitude of signal 10, we must look at how the average human being functions under the Newtonian model of reality. The old model says, I will wait to have a reason to give thanks. When I am cured, I will be grateful. When they give me the money, I will feel abundant. When I find a partner, I will feel love. We live conditioned to be reactive. We wait for the outside world to change to allow ourselves to change our inner world. We give power to matter over spirit. We live as victims of circumstances. But you, conscious architect, have been doing titanic work. You have been visualizing and raising your frequency despite the circumstances. Causeless gratitude is the proof that you have managed to reverse the equation. You have become a creator. The creator does not wait. The creator generates. You have generated so much gratitude artificially during your meditations that it has reached a critical mass. It has become real. Your body has stopped differentiating between what you imagine and what you live. For your nervous system, the miracle already happened 10 minutes ago. That is why you cry with joy. Your body is reacting chemically to the experience before the experience reaches your senses. And here is the quantum secret. Gratitude is the state of reception. When you give thanks, you are sending a signal to the quantum field that says, the event has been completed. The gift has been received. The universe, which only obeys frequencies, picks up that event completed signal and says, "Wait, there is an inconsistency. This human signals abundance, but 3D reality lacks it. I must fix it." And to correct the inconsistency, the universe precipitates the physical event at a dizzying speed so that it matches your emotion. Your gratitude is not the consequence of the miracle, it is the cause of the miracle. Biological alchemy, from survival to creation. What you feel physically during this Signal 10 is a real cellular transformation. For years you lived in survival mode, stress. Your base emotions were fear, anger, envy, and anxiety. Those emotions are dense. They contract your energy. They tell your cells, there is a predator nearby, protect yourself, close the walls. In survival mode, you cannot create anything new. You can only repeat the past to stay safe. Causeless gratitude is the signal that you have moved to creation mode. Your body has stopped producing cortisol and adrenaline and has begun to flood your bloodstream with oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, and nitric oxide. These substances relax the arteries. They open the heart. They improve the immune system. And on an energetic level, they expand your electromagnetic field up to 3 or 4 meters around your body. You become a massive transmission antenna. When you feel that inexplicable euphoria walking down the street, you are emitting a high-power signal. You are transmitting love, abundance, thank you. And that signal is irresistible. People turn to look at you without knowing why. Babies smile at you. Animals approach you. Opportunities fall into your lap. It is not magic, it is biological magnetism. You have become a living magnet because you have turned on the engine of the heart. If you feel those urges to cry with happiness, do not repress them. Do not think I am crazy, I have no reason. You have the greatest reason in the world. You are alive and you have remembered who you are. Let those tears clean your eyes so that you can see the miracle that is already here. The death of how and when. During the previous signals, your mind still struggled with the cursed questions. But how is it going to happen? But when is it going to arrive? Although you had faith, there was a residue of impatience. Causeless gratitude murders those questions definitively. When you are in a state of deep ecstasy, time disappears. You feel so good now. You are enjoying this wave of love so much now that you absolutely do not care if the money arrives tomorrow or in a year. You no longer need it to arrive to feel good because you already feel good. And paradoxically, as you no longer care about time, time collapses. The universe only delays what you wait for with anguish. What you expect with joy, it delivers to you instantly. Causeless gratitude takes you out of the waiting room and puts you in the party room. You are no longer waiting for the future. You are bringing the future into the present. The connection with the source, the return home. Beyond the manifestation of material things, Signal 10 brings a superior spiritual gift. That overwhelming emotion you feel is the symptom that your connection with the divine source has been restored. For a long time you felt separated. You felt like a cosmic orphan fighting alone against the world. The loneliness of Signal 1 was necessary so that you would stop looking for connection outside. Now the connection has returned, but from within. You feel that you are not alone. You feel a loving presence that embraces you, guides you, and sustains you. You feel like you are the favorite child of the universe. That gratitude that makes you cry is in reality a dialogue. It is your soul telling your ego, see, I told you everything would turn out well. I told you we were loved. I told you we had never been abandoned. It is the feeling of returning home after a long and bloody war. You take off the armor. You drop the sword. You realize that the war against life is over. And it has ended not because you have defeated all your enemies, but because you have realized that there never were any enemies. There were only mirrors of your own resistance. Now that you have released the resistance, enemies become allies and obstacles become trampolines. The phenomenon of painful beauty. A curious characteristic of Signal 10 is that your perception of beauty intensifies to the point of hurting. Before you passed through a park and saw trees. Now you pass through the same park and see the majesty of nature. You see the intense green of the leaves. And that beauty is so intense that it pierces your chest. You look at your dog and see a being of pure light. You look at an old man crossing the street and see the history of humanity, and you feel infinite compassion. The world has not changed. The park is the same. You have changed. You have taken off the dark glasses of fear and lack. You are seeing the world through the eyes of divinity, and divinity only sees beauty, because divinity can only see itself. If you are experiencing this hypersensitivity to beauty, it is the confirmation that your third eye and your heart chakra are synchronized. You are seeing 4D reality superimposed on 3D reality. You are seeing paradise on earth. The final confirmation, biological knowing. There is a difference between thinking everything will be fine and knowing everything will be fine, a gratitude without cause. Optimism is mental and requires effort. Signal 10 is visceral. It does not require effort. It sprouts from your stomach. It is a knowing that admits no discussion. It's like when you fall in love for the first time. No one has to explain to you that you are in love. You don't need to read books to know if you are. You know it. It burns in your blood. Causeless gratitude is falling in love with your future. Your body has made love with your destiny in the quantum plane and remained impregnated. You are pregnant with your miracle. And just as a pregnant woman knows there is life inside her, even though she cannot see the baby's face yet, you know your desire is alive and growing within your energy field. It is no longer a possibility. It is a life gestating. How to enhance Signal 10. If you feel flashes of this gratitude but want to stabilize it, here are 3 sacred practices. Practice 1. The walk of appreciation. Go for a walk without a phone or music. Your only goal is to look for things to be thankful for. Start with the obvious. Thank you for my legs. Then go to the subtle. Thank you for the color of that wall. After 15 minutes, your heart will ignite. This is the point of ignition. Practice 2. The journal of future evidence. At night, instead of writing what happened today, write thanking what will happen tomorrow as if it had already happened. Thank you, universe, because today I received that wonderful call. By writing in the past tense about the future, you activate the emotion of gratitude. Practice 3. The hand on the heart. When a doubt or the stress of the old world assaults you, stop. Put your right hand over the center of your chest. Breathe, imagining that the air enters and leaves through your heart. Invoke the emotion. Say, thank you, thank you, thank you. In less than a minute, you will return to reception. Conclusion. The coronation, accepting your inheritance, and the final call to action. Listen to me carefully, because these are the last words your old self needs to hear before dissolving forever. You have not reached the end of this video out of curiosity. You have arrived because your soul had an unavoidable appointment with this truth. If you have felt a chill running down your spine, if you have recognized your own life in the loneliness of the void, in the breakdown of structures, or in sudden gratitude, then there is no longer room for doubt. The universe's diagnosis is definitive. You are ready. For a long time you walked with your head bowed, asking for permission to exist, asking for crumbs of love, asking for job opportunities, feeling small before the immensity of life. You felt like a beggar at the palace gates. But today the doors have opened, and upon crossing the threshold, you have realized the great truth that fear hid from you. The palace was always yours. You were not the beggar. You were the king who had forgotten his name and suffered from amnesia in exile. The training is over. You no longer have to fight for your dreams. Fighting is for those who believe they are separate from God. You already know that you are one with the source. You no longer have to chase. Chasing is for those who vibrate in lack. You vibrate in possession. From this second on, your only job is to occupy your throne. The coronation is not a public event with trumpets. It is a silent event in your heart. It is the moment when you stand tall, take a deep breath, and accept the responsibility of your own power. You accept that your thoughts create matter. You accept that your emotion directs the cosmic orchestra. You accept that you are the sovereign architect of your reality. Do not look back. Do not look at the old cabin that collapsed. Signal 3. Leave it in ruins. It was the house of a slave. Look forward toward the glass skyscraper that the universe is finishing polishing for you. Walk with the arrogant and calm certainty of one who knows the check is already signed. Walk with the divine indifference of one who knows that love is their birthright. The universe has set the green light. The traffic lights are open. The engine roars. Do not hit the brake. Press the accelerator to the floor. If you accept this truth, if you accept to stop being a victim to become a creator, I need you to perform a physical act of confirmation. Do not close this video without leaving your mark on the universe's record. Go down to the comments right now and write the phrase that will activate your new timeline. Write with fury, with faith, and with certainty. I am ready. I accept my inheritance now.